ready, Jane?
I'm ready.
All right. 응답하라 여친.
Go to the into the 실.
Back to the 경 to the Jew. I went like this.
It's okay.
I'm experienced. Okay, Jane. We just both finished Love After Divorce, Season 4,
Yep.
Episode 12.
Episode 12.
And we are going to talk about it.
My stomach is growling. Sorry. I
interrupted.
I did. I just digested it really fast.
Oh. The other day, the other day I was like trying to print something, and then I heard the sound, and I was like, oh, the printer's working. And then I was like, that's my stomach.
That's you. That's so funny.
I thought it was
the printer starting up. Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
That was fast. And I was like, oh no, it's here. I was like, oh, I don't even know the bodily sounds attached to me anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
웃겨. Okay, Love After Divorce.
Yes.
Episode 12.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was yes, it's always fun to some level. Yes, you were right. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Because, my complaint about the show is that it's quite boring. Okay, am I not accurate in saying that?
You are.
But, but
that's
to be
the
fair.
vibe of the show.
Right, but to be fair, it's boring because it's actually probably the most realist reality show that's out there.
Right, which is what we said last time.
Yeah, so.
That's what got us into it.
Yes.
Is that it's not overly
they don't fluff it.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't play up the drama.
Yeah.
It's just what you see it's very docu-style.
Yes.
And like Korean really reality shows more like that.
Yes.
Docu-style.
And then, we didn't mention this, but the level of entertainment the MCs, the panelists bring, I think that is key. Very smart.
This is I know Korean people with our reality shows, we do that. But I remember watching Singles Inferno and thinking, this is weird. But this show, it's very necessary.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, I would be bored out of my mind if the panelists weren't there.
Because there's so many subtle things that happen and they help you process.
Yes, and they do the, like, I want to almost say it's like Korean jokes.
Yes.
이렇게 좀 이렇게 like, 자기가 그렇게 잘났다고 생각하나 봐. Like the Korean that's that he thinks he's all that, huh? Like the little side commentary. It's a little judgy, but it's also like very relatable.
Yes, it's very relatable, and I think they're just over. Like, they do a really good job of being compassionate to each person.
I think they're sometimes I think they're too nice.
Sometimes you wonder. I wonder what they really think.
Yeah, I was like,
for the purpose of the show.
Yeah, because they don't want to get hated on.
A good job.
Korean people will be the first to turn on you if you get too much, right?
Those netizens.
They're hardcore. But I remember. Did we not talk about the panelists before?
I think we mentioned it a little bit.
My favorite panelist moment was when they were talking about Benita. It was like, 저 여자 attention 싫다고 그랬잖아. I was like, she said she didn't like attention. This is the most attention-seeking thing.
That's in reference to Benita making the couple tease.
Yeah, I was like, girl,
Jerome.
You don't like attention?
No, which goes to show how much she genuinely must like Jerome to step out of her said comfort zone and say, I'm going to wear these very loud tees and step out. And you also have a full crew that you're walking around with.
Or she was just shitting herself, saying, I'm a private person. Bitch, please.
Nobody wants negative attention. And I think that's what she was fearing when Jerome revealed that he had a past as a Korean 연예인. And
I know, but like none of them even knew who he was.
Exactly.
Like, what were you worried about?
I think we were thinking, the viewers were thinking, everybody will know you because you're on this show.
Yeah, exactly. Like
not from Jerome's past as a K-pop idol.
And also, what private person goes on a after divorce, which is in itself so stigmatized in our Korean community, to a show about it? You know what I mean? Like, let's be real now, Bonita. Right. Anyways, let's be real, girl. As she talks to the camera, I'm a very private person. Is this going to be on Netflix?
I think I read on a thread, like a Reddit thread or something, because that's what I do after every episode, because I need to know the chatter.
You do go
just for this show.
Oh, interesting.
And maybe it's because I knew we were talking about it.
Oh, okay. What did you find?
Oh, no, there was a thread about Ricky, and a lot of people in the OC, and I have friends who have told me, I went to school with him. I don't know him very well, but I've gone to school with him. And there are these threads where, I ran into Ricky in town, and he wasn't aware that people actually watch this show. I'm like, what? It's like...
I could see that with Ricky. Ricky's so clueless. Huh?
I mean, maybe he thought it was just going to be a small
Sora was
audience.
Like, you had no idea that I was trying to, like, flirt with you? Like, I scooted my ass right next to yours. He's like, huh? Like, okay, I understand she was subtle, but, like, dude, like, she did really inch closer.
Those are all very common signs of showing interest.
He is so... I feel like it's, like, always news to him. You know, when Harim's like, oh, my God, like, can you just, like, be more interesting? He's like, huh?
I can't remember when she said that. This is way in the beginning.
When she turned hot and cold on him?
Before she liked him.
Yeah.
Before she declared she liked him.
Right. And then was like, you know what? I can't do this. And walks off. And then I'm like, the next day she's like, actually, I really liked you.
I wanted to apologize for my behavior yesterday.
And only after the other women were like, I like Ricky. Remember that?
Was it? Really?
Yes. Remember when they were sitting around in a circle and it's like, I think Ricky is interesting. And then she was like, you could see her head shift. Who? Because I think Ricky's name came up multiple times. And all of a sudden she perked up. Which leads us to make our predictions.
Yes.
Actually, we don't know what happens at the very end.
No.
I tried to look it up.
Oh, you did?
No, I tried to look up
spoilers.
No. Well, I tried to see what happens in the previous seasons, and I just couldn't find where to watch it.
Right.
I'm not that tech savvy.
So we don't know what happens at the end of this show.
Right. We assume that they are...
I think they have a moment where they choose, will you stay together or go separate ways?
Do you think it's like, like Bachelor, where they make them stand on like an altar thing?
I hope it's not that cheesy.
Okay.
I mean, Koreans are a little bit better.
Well, hello, wasn't that whole...
But Singles Inferno, though, they did kind of do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Also, they did the whole what was that Ferris wheel? That was cheesy.
I gotta say that was cheesy.
I was like,
you're right.
You're really gonna make them go around?
I hate Ferris wheels, so I'm just thinking, how many hours were they in there? And imagining being stuck at the top.
Slow.
Oh my gosh! And what if you knew that you were gonna walk out and not go with that person? And how long are you in there?
And
trying to keep a poker face?
Because you know how filming works. Like real filming, that shit takes
grueling,
forever.
Arduous hours.
I mean, they must have completed it in daytime because they had daylight.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, we have to wait for the Ferris wheel. They're going to stay in there and then they're going to go another round. And then are you going to get in or are you going to get out?
And, this is so typical of Korean shows, but they do the replays, the slow-mos, the cutaways. And I'm like,
three times minimum.
Yeah.
Slow-mo now.
And I don't know why I watched through all of that. I mean, it's on Netflix, so you can fast forward. But I watched through all of it.
Oh, you did? I fast forward.
Because, and I'm, I'm the kind of viewer that they make these shows for. Because I'm
worried
on the
you
edge of my
something.
seat. I'm like, oh my God. No way. She didn't stay.
You are that Korean. Oh my God. Which
so I say all these things, but it's like, that's why, because they wanna really grab you, and keep it suspenseful, and they succeeded.
Which gets me to this episode we watched, episode 12, when the Ricky and the ex.
Oh yes.
I know it's serious, but I could not stop laughing.
Why?
The way they built up the awkwardness of it. Words are not said. Camera pans to his face. Camera pans back to Ricky's face. They ignore each other. I was like, they're gonna draw this shit out.
Because you know how long was that interaction in real life? Probably 5 minutes.
Right.
Maybe
at
not
most,
even at most.
At most. And then the panelists. And honestly, well, it was real because they're like, oh, for us Koreans in Korea.
This is a very unusual situation where they're colliding.
They've never seen something like that. And I was like, wow. In my mind, I'm thinking, you know, they will eventually meet, right? If this is real.
Mm-hmm.
What you know, X is not gonna meet when there's kids involved.
There's kids involved, so they will always be.
Yeah, so I did find that fascinating that they're like, oh, us Koreans in Korea would never do it like this.
I'm thinking, how do they do it?
Yeah,
then? Do you have a meeting, a cafe where you drop the kid off and then? I know in the States there are professionals who will help the handoff. So, and those are situations where you don't want to meet face to face the ex, or when the relationship's not good, or for whatever reason. But there was something very real about that interaction with Ricky and the ex.
Yeah.
The ex obviously knew about
the filming.
Ricky. Oh, yeah. I guess he had to sign all of his papers, consent,
right?
and all that.
That's another thing. Like, is it really that unforeseeable?
No, it's not unforeseeable.
I'm like, y'all
maybe the ex wanted some camera time.
I'm 100%. You know how Korean minds work.
Oh yeah. Let me get a piece of this pie.
He's like, let me show up and let me show how I'm better looking than Ricky. Because, okay, tell me the truth. Did you not think that?
I thought he was pretty pretty good looking.
He was good looking, and he wasn't even like made up or anything. No. He had a good look of it. I'm like,
yeah.
I am telling you, that man wanted to be on camera.
He wanted to be on camera. He wanted to, all the other exes of the contestants, they're just kind of, we imagine them because we don't ever see them. I don't know if we'll see the other ex-partners or not, but I think this was it was a nice
because he could have been blurred
move.
out if he didn't want to be on camera, but he wanted to be on camera. And I'll tell you what, he's a good-looking dude.
And he seemed pretty normal. Yes. I can't get that out of my head that he's part of a very conservative religion, and I kept wondering.
I was like, really? This man in a headband with long locks is so conservative.
Looks pretty laid back.
Yeah, looked absolutely chill. But
did you catch when he tells Ricky, you have my number, you let me know whenever you have any questions? And I was like, wow.
This is a good way for us to lead into our predictions for the couples, okay? So.
Are we starting with them, or should we go back to?
Let's start with them because we're in the thick of Ricky and Harim. Okay. Originally, I had thoughts.
Yes.
I already knew, and then this episode did soften my view towards Harim, mainly because of her kids. I think her kids are absolutely beautiful and they're adorable,
and they adore their mom.
I love
they adore their mom.
They adore their mom, and they really took in Ricky.
Yes,
and in a genuine way.
That was very sweet to see.
So for that alone, I was like, wow, they already have a connection with this man.
Yes.
So that softened me a lot. Like, I don't care about, all of Harim's antics, but when her children came on the show, I was like, oh, these are such beautiful children. She has 3, but they are very loving, and the way they love on Ricky is real.
It is real.
So at that point, I started to feel like, I hope it works out for the children's sake. I did genuinely started to kind of shift that way. However, towards the end, that exchange with the ex, it made me feel the tensions are very high.
Yes.
Like, she couldn't even come down and properly introduce them. And I thought that was very strange.
Do you think maybe the introductions had happened before?
Oh, I guess that's a possibility. I guess that's a possibility. I didn't think about that, but it almost looked like she was running away. Like she was skewering off, like she didn't. It made her that uncomfortable.
She did lean on Ricky a lot to do those hard things. Yeah. Which is, I think, what she's looking for and needs in a new partner and co-parent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it had to be that awkward. I thought either one of the man could just be like, hey, man.
Right.
How's it going? But at the final, he did this like backward hand. What is this crap? What is this backward hand? I was like, oh my God, that is so not like, it was such a weird handshake. Mm-hmm. So that made me think.
I think he wanted to express something. Express some kind of gratitude.
Minute, decided like I should do something.
Yeah.
And it was so painfully awkward. Mm-hmm. But it got me thinking that there are unresolved issues between Harim and her ex.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I know Harim is struggling with 3 children. I get that. Who wouldn't? Mm-hmm. We struggle with our 2 children, right? But the way the situation looked, the way, like, okay, one, her doing those interviews or working with children around, like she had never done it before.
Right. I think they're playing up the chaos.
Yeah. I was like, you mean to tell me she works like this on a regular day basis? I'm like, this is a lie.
No, I don't think she works like that.
She's being featured as if this is her first time ever working as a mom of 3 children. What were you going to do if Ricky wasn't around? Don't show me that and paint it like she's never experienced this before. So that was weird to me, unless this is really like, you know, like, you know how when couples divorce?
Yes.
But like, it's so fresh and like maybe it's still like something there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. And it hasn't been too long for her, I don't think. There are other people who've been divorced longer.
Exactly.
Like
with
Jimmy,
3 kids. And her youngest is only
still
2.
A baby and very much a baby and needed.
Such a baby.
Oh,
so cute.
So
adorable.
So cute. But that whole scene was so triggering for me because that was my 2020 when I was stuck at home. With a kindergartner and a preschooler.
And to be honest, that was probably the realest we've seen Harim struggle.
Yes. And when she cries, when she has to leave at
that
night, I really felt that.
Yes.
Because
even my cold heart.
I get it, girl. Like, that is a very overwhelming situation.
Yeah. Even my cold heart towards Harim in that moment.
At the same time, I thought, just go. You take Bella and you just go to the ER.
For the ER.
You're all gonna go in the car. I don't want that stress.
Yeah.
I do not want that stress.
What seasoned mom of 3 is like, let's all go to the ER. I'd be like, how about I go, can you be with the kids? Yes. And you guys can all sleep.
Right.
I thought it was the oddest choice.
I think my thing is she was so stressed and she needed somebody to be with her. And
which
so maybe that was moral support.
Right, exactly. Which makes me then think she is not used to being alone with her kids. She always has someone around.
And that's not featured on the show.
And she never mentions it.
For the sake of the show.
She looks like someone who can't be alone with her children. Like, I'm like, that emergency ER situation, I was like, I would just take Bella and be like, you stay here.
Sure.
Please make my life easier. That would be the first thing. You saw
I think probably
exactly
if Ricky's not there, then you're calling the sitter. Hey, can you come?
Yeah.
Or a parent, whomever. Yeah. Can you come and be with the other kids while I take?
But I think she's so used to having someone around, either the nanny or the mother, but she never says, oh, I get a lot of help because she wants to take the full credit that she is the single mom that's doing it all. And it's like, this is where I question how much of her truth we're seeing. Like, and also, I wonder if this housing situation that she's in, I mean, the house looks, but it doesn't look very furnished. Do you notice that? Like, it looks very like, you know, like this is a temporary situation and yeah, it just, there wasn't a lot of pictures hanging on the wall. You know, it just looked very like they just moved in there.
I see what you're saying. Maybe it's
It's
for
a
the
separation.
sake of filming. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't, like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think we as viewers are entitled to her truth, but as long as she's, you know, wanting to make things work with Ricky and find love, and hopefully he has the full picture.
I will also say, of all the contestants, they're very open about what they actually do for work. Like, Sora, we know she works at TikTok, even though I'm sure, like, it's not something she has to be. We know. With Sora, with Harim, I don't exactly know what she does.
Yeah, I think they said cosmetics company.
And if you work for a cosmetic company and you're on a show being featured, wouldn't you proudly say what cosmetic company you're part of?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Why
know if
wouldn't
they
they
would
want
be
that?
allowed to. Yeah.
Unless it's not a legit cosmetic company.
I was trying to eavesdrop on the Zoom
calls. I was like pausing, rewind. What did they say? And the way they cut those conversations, like you can't even hear a full conversation of this work meeting.
Yes.
I'm like, what cosmetic company? I mean, we get asked all the time from cosmetic companies, just make a video for us. What cosmetic company wouldn't want to be featured on a Netflix show?
Sure. Unless maybe she didn't have their full support going on the show,
MLM.
or
dang, you've seen the Reddit threads. I've seen the Reddit threads.
I think it was a comment on one of your videos that I saw.
There's a Reddit thread. Anyways, Jane's like, honey.
I'll fully disclose that I am still listed as a consultant on a skincare company, MLM, and I do it for my discount and then my mom's discount and a few other friends.
That's fine. But
but would I go on? No, I wouldn't go on the show and say, "Hey."
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you're gonna say you're like this, like the CEO of the company or marketing manager of the company, why wouldn't you mention what company?
Yeah.
That's fine. You're right. She can keep private, whatever private matters, but it's gonna look a little sus. And so overall, couple predictions. When she got on the show in the beginning, like just my vibe on her was like, I don't think she's here to find love. I think she's here to promote herself. And hey, you know what? Get a girl.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like I said, we discussed before, it'd be very hard to leave 3 children behind, and the youngest 2 years old.
So hard.
Yeah. So I think that she's there to promote herself and get herself like a platform out of this. And I think she just chose whoever was most valued on the show to let the other women know I can get this guy. Or let the viewers know I can get this guy. But ultimately, here's what I think is going to happen. Ricky is all in. I don't doubt that Ricky is all in. I think he's head over heels for this girl. I think it's very genuine. But I think Harim is going to flip it on him and be like, oh, you deserve to like have someone with less children, or just someone, you need to be more free. You're not there. And make herself like the savior.
I see what you're saying.
When she never wanted the relationship to begin with. But she's going to, so that way she can look good and he can look good and they're unfazed and they can both move on with their life. The unfortunate thing is I do think Ricky really loves her. But I think that's how she's going to play it. And she already hinted at that when she was like, I just feel so bad that he's going to know that I have 3 children. Like, girl, like this was never a secret that wasn't going to be unveiled.
Right.
Unveiled, unrevealed. What is your thoughts?
I think that's very smart, and I do see that happening. However, this episode, to me, it seemed that she genuinely has feelings too for Ricky. And
Where did you see that?
Every time she checks on him, like after she's done with the call, she comes upstairs, she's like, 힘들었지, right? That was so hard, right? And then the way she shows affection toward him with her kids there,
Yeah, I mean,
And-
this was if there was an episode where I could see them together, this was it. I think if anything, it's the genuine connection Ricky has with the children.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could not recognize that.
Oh, yeah. And if I were Harim and I'm witnessing that, that to me tells me so much. Because this is more than, whoever you're going to be with
Yeah.
post-divorce. He also has to be your co-parent.
Yeah.
And
And
have
he
a blended
talks
family.
so like, oh, if we just live together, I think the youngest one will be fine. I thought that
Right.
was so.
Yeah.
so
I mean, they're
cute.
having those conversations.
That's true.
That are
Very real.
right and talking about the future. However, I think maybe the reality of the situation will somehow convince them to
Go their separate ways.
go their
And she
separate
keeps
ways.
bringing that up too. Like, this is
It might be-
reality
It might be a self-preservation thing or preparing herself.
for the card she's going to play. Okay, moving on. Ugh. Jerome and Benita.
I love them. I
You
love
go
them.
first on this one.
So my prediction is that they have a good chance of working out.
Yeah.
I think their scenes are very mundane, everyday life. I don't think it's sustainable for Jerome to pick her up in downtown LA and then
Right.
bring her back to Anaheim every time. Like, that drive will get
Right.
very old. But I do think that they have a good chance
Yeah.
of working it out.
Yeah.
And I think these little, each episode, you can see Benita opening up more to the
Yes.
idea. And then this one was pretty monumental because she takes Jerome home to see her parents.
Yeah.
And it really sounds like she treasures or takes her parents' perspective, thinks very highly of that, puts a lot of
She's the
value
only child,
on
right?
that. You know what? So somebody DM'd me that she has a twin brother who's just as
Oh.
good looking. So I had no idea. I thought she was an only
I
child.
thought she was the only child.
Just
being
the way her
featured that
parents
way.
were
Yeah,
doting on her.
But daughter,
daughter.
dad and
yes.
daughters. I'm telling you, that's
And
it.
that was very sweet because the dad seems very mututuk, like very stoic. But when he's talking about her, he
He's
just
so
wants to show
cute.
pictures, and he says,
The
"Oh,
dad
that's when she still
stole
had the
the
baby
show.
fat," and it was very sweet.
When he took Jerome out to show off his lettuce,
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
He was like, "I'm gonna really protect myself." But I think Jerome won him over
He
later.
did.
And I
It was
think
genuine.
her mom is more level-headed.
The mom is me. Oh, 카카오타크가 왔네. She said the KakaoTalk car is here.
Yeah. And she calls him immature, right? She just kind of laughs. She's like,
철없다.
oh.
진짜 철없다. I thought that was, the mom is a comedian.
She is.
The when she said, "Oh, that's a cacao," like that is Korean
With a
humor
straight
right there.
face,
Yeah, like
right?
so straight. Like that's Korean humor, like a dig, but it's also so funny.
Yes.
like you can't laugh,
Yeah.
but like she says it with a straight face. She's the package. I love her parents. They stole that episode.
Yes.
Episode 12 was all about Bonita's parents.
Yes.
And Bonita had irritated me with all her like withholding affection. And just I feel like I got really sick of it the last episode, but after seeing this episode and how her family banters, I realized that's just
That's
her
who she
humor.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're used to teasing each other this
Yes,
way.
yes.
And so I'm like, oh, this is how she genuinely is being funny.
Yeah.
And I think that she in this episode I saw that she although the way she let that hair dye drip down his forehead was criminal, Jane. I was like, this is serial killer vibes. Who can let that stain just sit there?
I know. And did he not feel it
I
trickling
know.
down?
How is he getting Botox? Does he not feel things up here?
Yeah, maybe he was
Like,
getting Botox.
How is he? And the way she walked around, what are you looking at? Right over here. Like, what? You don't see this?
I know.
She made me question her whole being with that bad hair dye situation. But
That was very, I'm glad that happened because she's so perfect and perfectly put together all the time. And that scene was funny and she's human.
Yeah,
right?
she's
and
very
when she
human.
says, "Oh yeah, I messed up. I did,"
this episode made me believe that they will be together.
Yeah.
Like, I think that now I recognize that's how she banters, and how she teases, and Jerome, oh my God, he is so in love.
He loves her.
The way he hates that, I don't really, like, sushi's not what I go, 너무 맛있어요.
Right?
I was like, wow. Could you imagine, though, had he been allergic to seafood?
Oh.
That's my husband.
I'm surprised that conversation didn't come up, like, oh, I don't really eat sushi.
Yeah.
But Benita didn't tell her parents anything about him.
I
so maybe
that.
I did respect that as well. And maybe she just wanted to see how he's going to do, and she wanted the meeting to be as real as possible, and she wanted her parents to form their own opinion so that she could get a more honest.
And that convinced me that she is real about this, because she really wants to know what they genuinely, sincerely think about him.
And she didn't want to plant any bias.
Yeah.
She's like, I really want to know what you truly think.
Or though when he said, I'm 46, they were like,
Yeah.
나이 먹었네. You are old. And thank God he did dye his hair, because could you imagine if he sat there with the same shaped head and same, but this is white and the dad?
Yeah,
that would have been so awkward.
That would have been bad. Yeah, so smart. Good on Benita.
Yeah, Benita did make the right call about the hair dye. I know some people were like, they're trying to change him. I'm like, no. It would have been so awkward if he sat there
and he would have maybe felt awkward.
Yeah.
He would have felt
with
awkward.
a head of white hair.
Yeah.
And the dad's, they have the same shaped head.
Yeah.
And it's grown like the exact same amount too. It's like twins. Okay, next couple.
Jimmy and Heejin. Oh, I don't know about them.
I do not see it. I already thought that they weren't gonna work out because they were each other's both second choice. Do you remember that?
Who was Heejin's first choice?
Jerome. She kept trying to like connect with Jerome. She remember on their first date they went. She was happy to be sitting next to Jerome, and he couldn't remember her name.
That's right.
And even after he couldn't remember her name, and she was upset about it, and then they try to find the station. She's like, where are you sitting? He was like, I don't know. And she couldn't find a seat next to him.
Oh,
that was her first choice. And then Jimmy, I think Jimmy fucked up. What was the other girl's name?
Jisoo.
I think they would have made a great couple, but he faltered. This is what I hated about the show. I feel like all of them are so insecure, and they jump ship as soon as they feel
like it's not going to work out,
or they feel that they're getting rejected.
Sure.
And like at first I didn't like Jisoo at all because okay, this man basically told you that you're his pick. And then you made it seem like you like him, but then you kind of were like, I want to know all my options.
Sure.
At that time, I was really irritated because I was like, girl, you had it in the bag and you threw it away. Why are you mad now? But looking back, I think, she shared some information about her divorce and how she got cheated on and all those traumatic things. And I think she just wanted to be certain that she didn't jump into something.
Didn't she say that Jimmy had some similar qualities to her ex?
Well, she was worried about how he's so friendly to everyone. That's same concern that
Heejin had.
Yeah, that Heejin had. Like, he's so friendly to everyone. So I think she just wanted to make sure. But then that little hesitation he took as rejection and just totally, like, shifted gears so fast.
And then never went back. He never wavered. I think
I thought was a red flag. I was like, whoa, like that's all it takes?
My red flag was he had 8 relationships.
Oh, well, that too. And
8 cycles of starting the relationship in it, and then it ended 8 of those between the divorce and this show.
I think he was ready to say, like, I choose you. But I think Heejin is making it very clear that she is not.
Heejin has obviously some trauma that came from in-laws.
Yeah.
And that's that is real.
Yes.
So, and fully understand her desire to, draw this out a little bit.
I think more than any other community in the Korean American community, in-laws have like a effect on marriage.
Absolutely.
And it showcased that here in this episode.
Oh yeah. And they're both pretty Koreanized in that they're comfortable being in Korea. Their parents are in Korea. So I think it's one thing to fall in love or crush on somebody in Cancun in an environment separate, but they're in Korea and they have met some of each other's families. I think Jimmy has met Heejin's family.
Yeah.
And I think it's making things real and it's making them think a little bit deeper. Yeah. Ultimately, I think that will maybe make them think twice.
But the way she drew out the newlywed quiz, I thought that was an attack. I was like, I'm letting you know where I stand.
Without directly telling you.
And I was like, oh my gosh, she's saying the things she wants to say without being direct. Like, oh, this is how I really feel. And I thought that was kind of like sneaky. Like, I was like, why don't you just say it? And you could tell he was crushed. Yes. And if he
was trying to be okay.
But his demeanor, his body like shut down.
Yeah.
With each question, like, oh, you don't think I'm sexy? Oh, you don't actually think you just want to cohabitate? Like, I don't think they're going to make it. Okay, let's recap. So,
Ricky and Harim.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, okay?
Ricky and Harim.
Okay.
Jerome and Benita. And then...
Oh, wait. We have to say it because for our podcast listeners.
Yes.
They're like,
we keep thinking this is a video
doing?
only.
Okay. Do it again.
So our predictions for the three couples, Ricky and Harim, we think ultimately they will go separate ways.
Yes.
Thumbs down. Jerome and Benita, we think they will stay together. Up. And then Heejin and Jimmy, again, thumbs down.
This feels so negative. We're trashing them bad. Thumbs down. I'm pretty... Oh, man, are we going to eat our words?
Maybe. I think,
We're ready to eat our words.
Yes, we are. And if they all work out, then I'm so happy for them.
Happy to be wrong.
Yes.
If Ricky and Harim are the real deal, I'm happy to be wrong. I want those kids to be so happy.
Yes. And then let's bring them on the show.
Anti-vaxxers, but okay. All right, with that, signing off.
All right.
Unda para Yeochin!